behavioral guidance, which is the other big area of alpha. So what we've done here is very simple. The numbers there represent the actual flows into equity funds over the last 10 years in crores. So we know that in April 2008 to March 2009, 4,000 crores came into equity funds as a category. 2010-11, minus 11,000 crore, money went out, and so on and so forth. And last year, April 2016 to March 2017, over 1 lakh crores has come in. Right? So this is the actual flows into the industry. So all that we did is we took a simple assumption. If this is the money that has come in, let's assume that our average equity fund investor mirrors exactly this. Because then the total is nothing but a summation of everybody. So we say, let's assume that my Mr. Average equity fund investor put in 4,000 rupees, forget the crores, put in 4,000 rupees on year 1, all the way down to, let's say, 1,06,000 rupees in year 10, right? So you're actually mirroring the flows. That's what he or she did. Now what is it he or she could have done? Which is, over 10 years, if I'm this investor, I have put in 2,81,785 rupees into equity funds over the last 10 years. Now the fact is, I save every year, right? And my savings, as in fact Dhruv also pointed out, our report assumes equal, but our savings actually increase every year, right? Because we get our salary increments, we generally do better next year than last year, etc. But even if I take a conservative estimate that my savings are there. Now if I am saving 31,309, how did I come to 31,000? 2,81,000 is what I invested in equity funds. Suppose I just divide that by the total number of years. It's 31,309 every year. Now let's assume that I am actually saving 31,000 bucks. For some kink in my head, first year I put only 4,000 into equity. The balance went somewhere, right? So that somewhere, let's say it is debt, right? Next year I put only 1,400 out of 31,000. And the balance I put somewhere, which is again debt, right, as a default, and so on and so forth. Some years, I put in a lot more than my annual savings. So in the last 2 years, whereas my fresh savings was 30,000 rupees, I went and invested 90,000. Where did I get that from? From that debt ka paisa that was accumulating all the years that I didn't put my money in, right? Is that yeah? So all that we did is that if this is what the average investor has done and could have done, then if you as an advisor are able to help this investor check his emotional impulses of greed and fear and help him onto something as simple as an SIP of 31,000 rupees every year, as simple as that, and make sure that he continues that SIP, forget which fund, make sure that he continues putting 31,000 rupees into blah, blah, blah equity fund, whichever you want, right? You're going to generate 4.67% more returns per annum, CAGR, over this 10-year period. Because what happens is, and let me see if this pointer works. Yeah, this pointer is working, very good. No, it's not working. The pointer doesn't work there, okay, fine. That's my pointer. Okay, so what happens here is that if you look at the number of units, he's accumulated a lot more units by investing systematically than by investing erratically, right, in equity, which is what we know. I mean, that's the beauty of a SIP, and therefore at the same NAV of your equity funds, which is again your CRISIL index, you get 6 lakh rupees, your 2,81,000 became 6 lakh odd versus 3 lakh odd. Now this 3 lakh odd becomes 4 lakh odd because there was some debt return also, right? All these years which you were saving 30,000 and you're putting only 1,000 or 4,000 into equity, you put the balance into debt. So debt, again we take debt index returns, so keep it simple. Even after considering that, the difference is 4,80,000 versus 6,20,000, net, it is 10%, 10.85% return versus a 15.52% return on a CAGR basis, assuming the CRISIL debt and equity fund indices. Again, no fund selection alpha by you, just behavioral guidance, pure and simple. Now the question is, we know the flows in the industry. The industry flows are a reflection of the cumulative minds of Indian investors. The cumulative minds of Indian investors are telling us that we are prone to tremendous amount of impulses. A good advisor who's able to check those impulses, therefore, earns, let's say, 1% or as embedded commission or as advisory fee, doesn't matter which way. But on the flip side, is able to retain 4.5% of the return that would have come from strategic asset allocation, which would have been frittered away with emotional impulses. So all your good work that you did in strategic asset allocation, and you've seen that in practice, goes for a toss because some emotional impulse comes in and the client says, "Nahi, abhi pura nikal do ya pura dalo." Right? Today the mood will be pura dalo. And some other time it was pura nikal do, and so on and so forth. So the question that your client should really, the question you should ask your client is, if you really think that you are completely on top of your emotions and that you need no support during market excesses, by all means go ahead. But there is enough data in the industry which suggests that most of us do fall prey to emotional excesses. To the extent I am able to help you check that emotional impulse because I'm a sounding board for you, data suggests that I can add 4.5% incremental return to what you would have done by jumping in and jumping out. That's my value. The value of doing nothing, right, is really 4.67. I know, where's Ashish Modani? I see him somewhere. Ashish Modani has been telling me that I want to quantify the value of doing nothing, right? So my simple submission is maybe this is a way of saying the value of doing nothing is 4.67%. What do you mean by value of doing nothing? Just tell your client, Papa, stay invested. Now, I'm not suggesting that that is the best model. There is something called tactical asset allocation which has tremendous merits, and we're going to have a whole debate around that. I'm simply saying the simplest thing that everybody can do is help your clients stay invested. Over and above that, if you're able to do tactical asset allocation, you make more alpha. That is, a few people do that. But the bare minimum that we can do is this, right? So that's 1% cost versus 4.67% value.